Alright, let's get Masonite set up and connected to a database. We'll be using MySQL, but Orator, which is the ORM Masonite uses, also supports Postgres and SQLite. Now, on the left-hand side here, we have a .env file. This contains all of our environment variables for our project. Towards the middle here, we'll see one for databases. For our specific case, we'll be using MySQL. The host is our local machine. The port is the default port. The database will be called tutorial, and we do not have a password. Now, these are just environment variables, so if we open up our config/database.py file, you can see that all those environment variables are referenced here. Now, each key here is a connection, so the SQLite, MySQL, and Postgres connection. The connection we specified was MySQL, so it uses this key here to specify the connection details for MySQL. Now, before we migrate our application, we'll need to create this tutorial database here. You'll need to do this in the database client of your choice, but for MySQL, we'll be using SQL Pro. So for SQL Pro, we just give it a name of tutorial. The host will be our local host. The username we said was root, and we did not give it a password. Now, if we go up to here, database, add database, we can call this tutorial, and we're good to go. This is our tutorial database with no tables currently. Now, before we migrate, if we look into our databases/migrations folder, you'll see that we actually already have a migration in here. What this does is it creates a users table with a ID primary key, a couple of values here, such as name, an email field, which is unique, a string field for passwords, a remember token, and a verified at timestamp. This is useful for a feature later on for verifying a user by sending them a confirmation email. Lastly, we have a timestamps. This adds a created at and updated at field to our table so we can keep track of those attributes. Now we should be good to go. So let's run craft, and you'll see that we have a craft migrate command. So let's go ahead and run that. And you'll see that we get an error here. So depending on what you're connecting to, you'll be required to install a certain package. So for MySQL, we need to install one of these packages. So I'll just install the first one. Oops, it's pipenv install. Let's go ahead and migrate again. And you'll see that everything migrated successfully. Now you'll see a lot of queries logged to the terminal. This is because we have a db log set to true. If you don't want to see your queries logged to the terminal, then you can go ahead and make that false if you want. But for this tutorial, we'll keep it true. Looking at our table now, if we refresh, we'll see a couple of tables here. Next, we'll talk about creating a new migrations file and get our projects table set up.